In my previous video, I unboxed and installed the Hansshow H6 6.86-inch driver screen. I must say that it looks really nice, especially if you have the yoke steering wheel, which gives an uncompromised viewing area of the dashboard. For this video, I will cover the software side and usage of this device, and then give my overall conclusion. Let's get started. I'll now go over details on this display. This is the screen that you'll see when your car is parked. First up is the settings screen. Press the right scroll wheel button towards the left for a couple seconds. That brings up the settings page. Use the same button to scroll up and down to move between the options. Use the same button to scroll down or up to move between the options. You will notice that each option there is an arrow to the left and to the right of it. When one is highlighted, then push the button to the right to change the current option. Some of the option lists don't loop around, so when you reach the end of choices and want to go back, scroll to the other arrow and then press right to move in that other direction. Once you get your choice, move to the next option. I'll set the commonly used choices for the United States. Of course, use your own preferences. I set language setting to English. Time zone. For the East Coast, I should have used UTC -8 and not -4 for my time zone. Set TCO to Fahrenheit. Set the hour system to 12 hours. Set US speed limit to on. Set tire pressure unit to PSI. Set the car model color to gray. Next, for day and night modes, I usually would set it to auto or follow, but I'll use day for this example. Next, we have brightness that can be set anywhere from 0 to 100, or follow the car, which uses the Tesla's screen setting. And then set the plaid switch to on. Currently, the Wi-Fi shown on the lower left is not working. Supposedly, this unit can update using Bluetooth for future over-the-air updates. And at least you could use the USB-C port for flash upgrades. I'll update that in a future video. To save, move to that box and press the right button to the right, and then it saves. You'll see a Save OK message on the left. To exit the settings menu at any time, press the right button to the left, and it then exits to the main screen. This is the main screen that shows the driver information like speed along with a bunch of other indicators. Some things were improved, like the power bar in the car is just a line. On this display, the right side shows it in horsepower along with a graph. Another thing that's really nice is that it shows the battery state of charge as %, miles remaining, along with a graphical bar. Along the top of the screen are various indicators that only light up when activated. This is a diagram of all possible indicators. From left to right, these are automatic high beam, rear fog lamps, low beam headlights, high beam headlights, front fog lamps, position or parking lamps, charging reminder, automatic brake hold, seat belts, brakes activated, airbag warning, ABS system warning, and parking brake status. Here's an example of the left turn signal, and then the right turn signal. The car's gear is currently in neutral, as shown by the N to the left of the car's avatar. I'll now switch to reverse, so the R shows up. Then I'll put it into drive so the D is displayed. Pressing park will put the car in park and change the screen to simply show the car from a 3/4 overhead view. Any doors, front, or trunk open will show on this screen. There are 3 UI themes that are available. Press the right button to the right for a couple seconds and a window pops up on the bottom of the screen. Then you can move to the different choices by scrolling up or down. Up moves left and down moves right. Press left to exit the menu. This one is the classic theme, which is the third from the left. The middle, or second one, is the minimalist theme. And the first one on the left is the sports theme. All three of these shown so far are in the night mode, useful at night since it's less bright or distracting. The themes have mostly the same information, just arranged a little differently on the screen. If I change the mode to daytime in settings, this is the sports theme again. It's now with a bright colored background and most of the text is in white. Changing to the middle theme of minimalist, the color shifts and it also has a colored background with mostly white text, except for the indicators. The last theme is classic. It has the analog gauges and another slightly different blue background. The only major thing different is that the percentage of the battery pack is not shown, only miles remaining and the graphical gauge. Personally, I like the sports theme the best due to how the gauge data is spread out. When in any of these three UI themes, you can change the information presented in the center of the screen. Scroll the right thumb wheel up or down to change. The default shows the car from an overhead view with the road, showing headlights and brake lights. The next screen shows the following distance for autopilot and cruise control, where you can adjust the number from 1 car length up to 7. Just press the right button to the left or right to adjust. The next center screen shows the car's TPMS and associated tire pressures for all tires. Interestingly, the number shows the 10th decimal place better than the standard rounded number that the car shows on the main screen. Another nice feature of this driver screen is the front camera. This is an optional feature that you can specify when ordering. Press the right button for a couple seconds, then the screen changes to the camera view. And when you're done, you can turn off the camera by pressing the right button to the left. This is handy when parking or moving the car in close quarters where you don't have a clear view of in front of the car. While Sentry Mode and Dashcam show a front view, unfortunately you can't use it while driving or parking. You can use this in combination with the backup and rear side view cameras to enhance safety in my opinion. It's almost like a surround view in effectiveness. I really like this ability. This is the screen that we see when we're in park. It just shows an image of the car. The doors will open and close. For example, driver's side open, closed. I'll put it into gear. I'm going to turn off all of the lights. And what you'll see is a hold button right here. There's a brake and airbag. If I turn on parking, you'll see parking is here now. Headlights, those are the headlights. If I push and put high beams on, high beams show up there. Turn those back to regular headlights. Then you put automatic. Automatic shows up on the left there. All right, and this is the screen that you see can be changed. This one is the minimal screen. You have three UI themes. The first one is sporty. If I click to the right, I can switch. The next one is minimalist. And all the way to the right is classic. You can see there's slight differences between them. Now I'm going to go for a drive and I'll show you how it works. One thing you notice that there's a speed limit sign comes up when the car determines what the speed limit is. That will show up on the screen. So let's go. By the way, left turn signal, right turn signal. Coming up to a stop here. adjust. Putting on cruise control, you can see the little steering wheel under the left analog display. I'll put it in autopilot, and it has a blue steering wheel under the right analog display. The locations may be slightly different under the different interfaces, so that's something to look out for. I'm going to turn right here. I'm going to switch to the other interface, classic to minimalist. Show you what that looks like. Cruise control, you can see, is just to the left of the speedometer. And if I put on autopilot, you can see it's on the right of the speedometer. I'll switch to the first one, which is the sporty display. It also keeps the autopilot on the right of the speedometer there. I'll turn that off and just put it into cruise control. And then you can see the cruise control just to the left of the speedometer. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of how the instrument panel works. And here's an example of driving the car in day mode. In the settings earlier, I turned on Plaid Mode. This is what it looks like. When the car's put into drive, when accelerating from a stop, you will see the Plaid animation for about 10 seconds. Note that this will only appear once while driving. If you want to see it again, you have to put the car in park and then back into drive. I suppose they did this so that it would be limited and not so repetitive. And if it does bug you, just turn it off in the settings. When comparing the numbers on the driver screen to those in the car, I didn't notice any errors. For example, the battery gauge and miles remaining were the same on both. When driving, there may be a 1/20th of a second delay in the speedometer update compared to the one in the car. Not sure if that's just a rounding error or a data transmission error, but it's there and it's a little bit noticeable. I do think there's room for improvement. All three UI themes are fairly similar. I would like to see more variety. The text size is too small for many of the items on the screen. I would like to see a way of adjusting, say, small, medium, and large font or indicator sizes. I feel like the design is not taking advantage of the size of the screen. Making the elements larger so they fill up the screen makes sense to me. I would like to see an update adding the ability to pick the colors used. That would be great since the contrast between the text or indicators and the background on the daytime modes are not as clear in certain viewing conditions. Lastly, this one annoys my OCD. The speed is duplicated on all three themes, once in the center and again on the left side. I would like to just have one since it's a little confusing. Maybe give the ability to turn one of them off in the settings. So in conclusion, the larger size over the Ultra Mini 4.6-inch screen is nice. It's not too big that it blocks the vents, and that's due to the position on the steering column. As I mentioned earlier in my wish list, some things can be improved, but overall I don't think it's a deal breaker. Just nice to have. Maybe I'm getting old, but having larger text on the screen would make things easier to see. I think the front camera is a great addition and makes this screen superior to the other small displays. Otherwise, I think it's a nice, simple screen. If you want Apple CarPlay or Android Auto with a touchscreen control, go with the larger 9 or 10-inch Hansshow screens. If you're interested in this Hansshow H6 6.86-inch driver display, see the link in the video description. Use code RANGER to get 15% off your purchase. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.